Hey folks, this is Kalani. The War Within expansion is finally here, so it's time to level up all of your characters and get them ready for the new endgame content coming our way. But this time will be a bit different. There are new systems to tinker around with, the warband system changes how leveling works, and the early access gives you a couple days head start, but not everything is going to be available right from the get-go. There are also so many ways to earn experience on your way to 80, with some being far better than others, and there are some huge bonus experience buffs that you can earn to speed up leveling your alts and future characters. So we're going to go over some very useful tips and tricks to make sure you don't get lost, don't miss out on some potential rewards, and show you the most efficient or enjoyable ways to level depending on your playstyle. Now before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. Going into the War Within, there were quite a few changes to quest-related icons, so I would first familiarise yourself with these icon changes because you're going to want to focus on the main campaign quests first if your main goal is leveling quickly. Campaign quests will always have the kinda shield background to the icon, quests you need to pick up will have an exclamation mark, quests in progress now have the ... and then turn-ins will have the question mark. So if you want to focus on the main campaign quests, which I suggest you do, make sure they have that shield icon. A really easy way to check the icons for each quest and what they mean is to open up your world map and click on the Map Legend button. This will show you what each icon means, so you shouldn't ever get lost. The other important ones to pay attention to are going to be the purple-pink important quests and then the blue meta quests. Those are going to unlock important features or systems or point you towards key weekly rewards. Now there are two reasons to focus on the main campaign quests as you level through each zone. First, these are the quests that progress the storyline, so you can finish as many side quests as you want, but until you work your way through the campaign quests, you won't be able to move on to the next zone properly, and you won't be able to unlock important endgame content. The second reason is that they usually offer more experience and better rewards, so you'll level faster if you focus on the main story quests, and you won't be sent halfway across the zone to pick up someone's lost pickaxe, or at least it'll happen less often. You can always go back for the side quests later on. You are going to run into a bit of a problem if you only do main story quests though. There doesn't seem to be enough experience across the campaign to get you from 70 to 80. When I tested this on the beta, I only reached level 78 when I completed the campaign, so you are going to have to get some experience from other sources too, either after you're done with the campaign or just as you level up. The good news is that you don't actually have to reach max level to unlock some endgame content. As soon as you finish the campaign, you unlock world quests and events, the Earthen Allied Race quests, as well as adventure mode, which gives you a bit more freedom while leveling on your alts. So you can jump into some of that content for your last bit of experience. Completing world quests will give you big chunks of XP up until level 80, so that's one option that you have. I would be a little careful with world quests specifically, as there are special assignment world quests that pop up in random zones. These give you much better rewards, but you need to complete 3 other world quests in the same zone first. It's not entirely clear if world quests completed before you hit 80 on your first character count towards these special assignments. So just double check your map and look for the special assignments before completing any world quests for XP, and if you do complete some, double check that they are counting towards that 3 world quest requirement. You don't want to miss out on a special assignment because you weren't max level yet, and there are plenty of other ways to get experience. You're also going to see these bonus objectives on the map while leveling, which offer you a big chunk of experience when completed, so whenever you're questing near one of these objectives, just be sure to complete it before moving on. It's basically just free experience most of the time. There are also plenty of side quests scattered around every zone. These will all reward you with experience, so you can complete them as you level if you really want to, or just return to them after the campaign and use them to round out your leveling adventure. It's really just up to you. The most important tip I can give you for side quests is that you don't have to do them on every character. The main reason you might want to complete all side quests is for the rep and renown rewards that they offer, but renown is now warband wide, so you won't actually benefit from completing the same side quests on multiple characters. Most quests will have one-time warband bonuses, so that means that you only really need to do each side quest once. You could knock all of them out on one character if you wanted to, but another option would be to complete all of one zone side quests on one character, using the experience to get to max level, and then on your next character that you level, focus on another zone side quests instead. So you could complete all of the side quests in all 4 zones across 4 different characters, which will give you all of the renown and rep bonuses for your entire warband, but you're making use of the experience gains across 4 characters instead of wasting a good chunk of it on just one. Obviously, this is again up to you and how you plan to level, but that's one efficient option that is available to you. Another option that you have are delves, the new solo player friendly content. These become available as soon as you level up and work through the zones. You can go into them all by yourself or with up to 5 players, so you don't have to join a group if you don't want to. Delves offer you experience, some gear rewards, and various currencies as well. You'll only have access to the first 3 tiers of delves until you hit max level though, so the rewards will be restricted if you're doing them before you hit level 80. You can also run dungeons to help fill in the gaps, either while leveling or after completing the campaign if you still need some extra experience. Dungeons will still give good experience rewards, you can get some shiny gear upgrades if you're lucky, and you can start learning some of these new encounters. Curiously, you are actually going to have to do some dungeons as you level up this time. You have to do certain dungeons to progress through the campaign, but don't worry, every dungeon will have the follow a dungeon option, so you can go in by yourself and have NPCs fill in your group. So you don't have to interact with other players or worry about something going wrong. The follower NPCs will take care of you. This is another option for earning experience from dungeons too. You can just run follower dungeons as often as you want without having to rely on groups or other players. You can also earn some extra experience from leveling up your professions. For gatherers, this is super easy. Mining and herbalism both gain experience whenever they gather a node, so if you pick up one of these professions, or maybe both of them, be sure you learn the Kaz Algar version before you set out on your adventures. You can do that as soon as you reach Dornagal for the first time. Crafters will also have some large potential experience gains. Every time you craft something for the first time and get that first time crafting bonus, you will also get a big chunk of experience. This was limited to about 2 levels worth of XP in Dragonflight, so I imagine it will probably be similar in the War Within. This means that if you plan on leveling up some crafting professions, you can start doing that a bit before you hit max level and get some experience at the same time. So you don't have to wait to level your professions, you can just chip away at them as you level, and they will actually help you get to level 80 a bit faster. If you want to min-max this a little bit, you can take double gathering at the very start, so herbing and mining, and just gather every node you come across while leveling. That will get you a bit of extra experience, but it will also provide you with a bit of artisan's acuity, the new rare crafting material that is quite limited. So getting a little bit from gathering professions while leveling, and then swapping over to your desired crafting professions later on, could actually give you a bit of a head start with that material specifically. The other option would be to pick up tailoring before you start leveling. Tailors get far more cloth from monster drops when compared to non-tailors, so by the time you are done with the campaign, you should have a nice bundle of materials collected. You can then either sell these on the auction house for a nice chunk of gold, or you can use it to craft the early cheap tailoring recipes. You only want to craft each recipe once to get that first craft bonus and the experience that goes along with it. After you've run out of cheap first crafts in tailoring, you can then just drop it and swap over to whatever profession you actually want to use on that character. So you do have quite a few options to sneak in some extra XP from your professions. One very cool change you need to be aware of in the War Within is that we're actually going to get bonus experience buffs for leveling characters up to the new max of level 80. When your first character dings 80, you'll earn the Warband Mentor achievement, granting all of your alts from levels 1 to 80 5% extra experience from all sources. So this not only helps your other alts get from 70 to 80, but this bonus will be permanent for any character you want to level, even if you start a brand new alt from scratch down at level 1. The best part though is that there are multiple stacking achievements you can earn. There are 5 in total, so for each character you get to max after the first, you will get another 5% bonus experience until you have 5 max level characters for a total of 25% bonus experience for your alts. That's where it caps out for now, so past that point leveling won't get any faster, but with that 25% bonus in play, your other characters will zoom through the leveling process. This also means that it's way better to focus on one character at a time. Get one to 80, then start working on an alt. Get that one to 80 and keep going until you hit that 5 character cap. At that point you can do whatever you want, but I would definitely try to avoid jumping between characters before they hit max level, just so you're always benefiting from as many of these Warband Mentor experience bonuses as possible. Your alt should also be able to skip over the whole intro section of questing if you've completed enough of the campaign. When your alts pop down to Silithus, just talk to Thrall and tell him you know the story. You can skip over all of the Dalaran stuff and even the Dornogal introduction, so you can dive straight into whatever content you're interested in to start leveling those extra characters. Now, if you are looking at leveling multiple characters pretty early on, I would also encourage you to log into every alt you intend to level, or maybe just log into every alt anyway, sometime after the expansion goes live. This will start all of your alt's rested experience gains, so when you get around to that character in your list, hopefully they'll have maxed out rested experience to help you level them even faster. If you don't log into these characters until you start leveling them, you could be missing out on huge chunks of rested XP, which just translates directly to time spent leveling, so log into all of your alts sometime after launch or after early access has started up. Now, something else that will be a little different is dragon riding, or sky riding as it's now called. We'll have sky riding right from the get-go in the War Within, so we can zoom around to our heart's content, but we'll also have the tree fully unlocked as well. So we have all of the talents, all of the vigor, we don't have to worry about starting out with slow regeneration or anything like that. Full sky riding from the moment we touch down on Khazalgar. You may be wondering then, well, what about the dragon riding glyphs? Do they still exist, and do we need to collect them to unlock the new talents like we did at the start of Dragonflight? The answer is yes and no. Yes, they still exist, you can find them in the same kinds of places you would expect, higher top mountains or large buildings, but they aren't actually used for anything in the War Within. They are just collectibles for earning achievements. So no new dragon riding talents, and you don't have to collect these new glyphs if you don't want to. You don't gain any tangible benefits from doing so, so that's going to be up to you. You can eventually unlock the steady flight option for the War Within, but you'll need to unlock an achievement to do so, the War Within Pathfinder achievement. Thankfully, it is quite easy, you just need to complete the campaign story quest for each zone and explore all of the new zones as well. That's it, so as long as you prioritize the main campaign while leveling, you can actually get this done before you hit max level. Just make sure you're exploring all of the zones as you go. Now, the last thing I want to say here is that leveling this time around was actually really smooth. The campaign quests tell a great story, set the stage for what's coming next in the raids and future patches, and the last zone specifically is going to be really interesting to progress through. The campaign also isn't all that long. It took me about 7 to 8 hours when I worked through it on the beta, so even if you don't really enjoy questing, it won't be too long before you're up at max level, ready to jump into the new dungeons, delves, and raids. It's also a very linear experience the first time you work through it, so as long as you are following those shield icons for the main story, you can't really get lost along the way. You also really only have to do it once. When you've completed the campaign on your first character, you're going to unlock that adventure mode for your alts, which means they can do the zones in pretty much any order they want, so if you want to skip over something specifically, you can do that. They also get world quests right away, so you can start completing those for extra experience, and you should have access to some of the meta quests, weekly activities, and world events to start endgame progression as well. And with so many different ways to earn experience, especially on your alts, you can change things up as often as you want and level through the activity that you find most fun. But that's all of our tips and tricks for how to level quickly and efficiently in the War Within, so that's it for this video. What character are you going to level first, and will you be zooming to max level to start on your gearing and character power, or are you going to take the scenic route and complete all of the side quests as you go? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to all of our members here on YouTube. You can see their names floating by on screen. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can find links in the description or click the join button just below the video. If you enjoyed the video or found it useful in any way, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you're always kept up to date. Thanks for watching, folks, good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.